Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for tuning in. My name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Tonight, I am going to be doing a collective reading and energy update. And the first thing I want to start off this reading by saying is I've been feeling a lot of very heavy, very emotionally charged energy coming through lately. So if you've been feeling that or you've been tuned into that at all yourself, then I want you to know that you're not alone wherever you are in the world. And I hope that this community here on YouTube, in some small way, can be some form of us virtually supporting each other, because at times, Earth can be a really dense planet to be incarnated on, especially for someone like you. If you are someone listening to this reading, you are most likely someone who takes a strong interest in spirituality, in exploring the meaning of our existence and of your purpose here on Earth. And most likely you've been doing that from a young age. You've always had this feeling of divine restlessness, so to speak, that's been pushing you forward in this exploration of the unknown, we could say. And I just want to say that you are so held and seen and supported on that journey, even if at times you do feel alone. So I just wanted to start with that little personal note here. And I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards to get into the messages. Now, these readings are collective, and of course, that means that most likely we will be channeling into many different people, energies, situations, that kind of thing. So only take the messages that really connect with you in a personal way and leave the rest here. Take whatever feels good for you, whatever feels aligned for you, and of course, your intuition is the best guide through all of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What can I channel for all of the beautiful souls tuned in to today's reading video? What can I channel? Okay, so the first card we have here is the Hanged Man. So the feeling I'm getting right away is of someone being pushed into a state of surrender. And I feel as though this surrender has not been a linear process, which of course makes sense, because often surrender is something that we have to learn, or in a sense that life has to teach us through trial and error. Now, a card just flew out. Maybe that's going to be relevant to us in some way. Okay, so surrender is bringing new ideas or bringing new energy is what I'm getting here. For some reason, I saw an elephant. Maybe that's symbolism for someone, but also the elephant made me think about a particular story of a baby elephant that was tied to a pole when it was really young, and it didn't have the strength to escape. So it would try and fail over and over again. But the purpose of this was so that when the elephant grew up and it was much bigger and stronger and entirely capable of achieving its own freedom, it would stay in bondage. It would stay in captivity because it would doubt its own strength. And I love this example because from a human perspective, it shows us in real time how our limiting belief systems in our subconscious work. Where if from a young age, like that elephant, we attempt to do something and it fails, we then often will grow up into adulthood and not question that belief. Sometimes we won't even try. And that's how most people live their lives. But what I'm getting here with you is you are one of those rare few who never stopped trying. I don't know why I'm hearing never stop trying to escape. I don't know what you were escaping from, whether it was maybe your own patterning, your own past wounding that you were healing out of. Maybe for some of you, you literally had to escape from some kind of heavy negative like system or belief system or a family pattern. I'm hearing you were the one who got out. You were the one who got out because you never let yourself give up. You continued trying to achieve your own freedom. And the thing I see now is you are entering this realm where, like that grown elephant, you have a kind of strength about you where you are able now to achieve things that in the past were impossible for you, things that you may have tried even to achieve in the past and thought that you were incapable of doing them because you didn't have the capacity or you didn't have the strength, or quite literally from a divine timing perspective, it wasn't time for you to achieve those things because you had to go through the initiation first. Now you are that grown elephant and you are capable of achieving some level of freedom for yourself, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's freedom when it comes to your lifestyle, your mentality, your healing, your emotional world, whatever this is for you, some kind of freedom is accessible to you that is only reserved for the rare ones like you who never train themselves out of trying or program themselves into giving up. And so I just wanted to take a moment right here at the beginning of this reading to acknowledge you for all of that, because I can feel that this hasn't been an easy journey for you. I can feel that there have been times, sorry, I'm adjusting my microphone here. There have been times that you've wanted to give up, but there was always some grit in your spirit that wouldn't allow you to give up. And I'm so proud of you, just in case no one has told you that, because I also feel that you are one who often has to celebrate your own milestones and your own victories. For some reason, I'm seeing someone with a birthday cake and they're blowing out the candle and they're alone. And yet there's something so cathartic and beautiful about it, because even though they're alone, they're celebrating themselves. Maybe for some of you, this is literal and you have to celebrate yourself when things happen for you because there aren't many people around you that you can trust or fully let in on your successes or your excitement or your dreams. But I hope you know that I keep wanting to say, I said this at the beginning, but I just keep wanting to say that you're not alone. And because we're on this topic, I feel that you are someone who is also very modest and very humble when it comes to your achievements. You don't want other people to feel threatened by the things that you achieve. You're very sensitive and attuned to how other people energetically react. Even if they don't say anything, you can sense how they energetically respond when you succeed or when you have something to celebrate. And so I do feel that often you don't share your successes or you don't celebrate yourself. So if that sounds like you, I really would love if you could leave a comment under this video and take a moment to celebrate yourself for how far you've come. Share with this community something that you are doing or creating or something that you're really, really proud of. Even if it's just something as seemingly simple as continuing to wake up and get up every single day and keep living this life, or it could be some kind of very specific milestone, something you've achieved. It could be anything, but I know you have things to celebrate that you don't often share with other people. And so I hope that if you feel guided to it, you can take this opportunity to share with this community something that you are feeling really proud of. And if you are guided to do this, to kind of close the loop and reinforce this celebration energy, if you could leave a comment on someone else's comment, congratulating them on their success or writing them some kind of note back to acknowledge what they're celebrating, that could really close the loop. Like you're both letting in that support and then you're exuding it outward as well. And for those of you who do this, I will try to comment on some of those as well underneath this video. But anyway, I just thought that might be a nice little exercise to create this energetic loop of reinforcement around celebrating yourself, celebrating your successes, because you have come so far. And I almost feel like this is sort of a checkpoint on your spiritual journey, a moment of let's just pause and acknowledge where you are now compared to where you were before and all that you did to get here. And let's just pause to celebrate you. That's actually what I feel from this hanged man energy. It's like before you move to the next level, before you get back into motion, taking action, doing whatever it is you're guided to do, pause and take a moment to just be at peace with yourself and to applaud yourself for how far you've come so far. So that's part of what I'm getting from this card, but also on this element of surrender, I feel like surrender has been an internal battle for you. And it makes sense. It is for all of us because we are so programmed to control and to attempt to kind of like put a firm grip on all of the situations in our lives and to try and manage people and things and outcomes and timing. We are so trained to do this. And it is an act of rebellion to surrender. It doesn't seem like a rebellion because surrender is often on the outside something that appears so soft and so gentle and so open and easy. And it's kind of like this effortless energy. It's moving with the flow of your life. But ironically, it's a battle internally to allow yourself to be effortless, to allow yourself to be soft, to allow yourself to be open. And it's one that most people never fully figure out how to do. It's typical for people to spend their entire lives fighting themselves, never trusting in their own success or never trusting the timing of their own life. But again, here, the words rare few, like you are one of the rare few, that line just keeps recurring in this reading. I may have to put that somewhere in the title or thumbnail because if this reading is for you, you are one of the rare few. And I guess I could just leave it there, but there are so many ways we could end that sentence. One of the rare few who have won that battle within yourself. Not to say every day is simple or every day you don't get that urge to control, because often we pick up those urges even from the collective subconscious. There are collective thought forms and thought programs. And when you are empathic, you can pick these up when you're in a crowd of people, when you're out in public, when you're out and about. You can absorb some of those kind of shadows of limiting belief systems, which is why your energetic hygiene is so important. Whatever you do for that, whether it's meditating, yoga, subliminals, walking in nature, journaling, reading, just being in your energy, creating, whatever that is for you. And you intuitively know what those things are because the things that clear your energy make you feel lighter after you do them. You can literally sense your energy current in your energy body flowing in an easier, softer, more powerful way. So whatever that is for you, it's so important because you are empathic and you do tend to pick up on even collective negative belief systems and things of that nature. But on the other side of that equation, I'm hearing light is always more powerful than darkness. Consciousness is always more powerful than unconsciousness. So know that, yes, even though you are empathic and you often pick up on the negatives in the world, and at times this can feel like a burden, know that in those moments, you can even acknowledge to yourself, if you ever find yourself getting stressed, getting overwhelmed, and you know it's because you've empathically absorbed something or picked up something when you were out in public or around a group of people or around a certain person, whatever this is, you can acknowledge to yourself the victory even within that, because know that it goes both ways. When you're picking up that energy from someone else, you also have this powerful energy. In fact, it's much more powerful than the darkness. It's your light. and it is exuding outward and actually having a positive influence. So in the same way, you can at times feel frustrated because you find yourself negatively influenced by your environment, by public spaces. I'm hearing like, why am I so sensitive? This might play through your head sometimes. Like, why am I so sensitive? Why am I so affected? Well, know that it's because you are as powerful a transmitter as you are a receiver. So if you feel like you're very sensitive to receiving energies, know that you are a very, very clear, open, and powerful transmitter of energies. This means that when you think love towards someone, they feel it. When you walk through a room as this beacon of unconditional love, radiating this light, radiating this confidence and power and grace, people are influenced in a powerful way by that. It leaves an impression on the people who witness you in that energy because you are transmitting energy just as powerful as you are receiving it. Now, most people would not be capable of being as energetically open as you are because it leads to those sensitivities. And for most people, this would be too overwhelming. It's something that you have to be trained into, and you have been if this reading is for you. So the thing is, a lot of people walk around with stronger walls in their energetic field, and those walls serve a purpose because they help to buffer out some of the negative energies and some of what's happening around them externally. But because they have those walls, they are also not capable of transmitting as pure, strong, and I wanted to say not impressionable, but that makes a stronger impression. I can't quite think of the right word for this, but their energy isn't capable of making as strong of an impression on others, on situations, on environments, on the fabric of reality because of those walls that also protect them, if that makes sense. For you, you're doing a very brave thing because you are walking around the planet without walls. You are walking around with this pure, open, powerful energy flowing through you. Your energy field is very fluid in a way. But I'm also getting this message of how the more you focus on what you are transmitting, the more you're able to naturally filter what you receive. So when you're very focused on what kind of energy, what kind of intention, what kind of things you want to create out into the world, your vision, you create a kind of powerful, intense energy that almost acts as its own force field. Still not needing those walls like many other people have, but this force field filters through energy that is not necessarily aligned with your vision, with your intention, with that strong energy that you are transmitting outward. So I don't know where all of this is coming from. This reading has gotten very unexpectedly quantum, but I'm very curious how this is connecting for you so far. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards here. Yeah, we pulled cards before that I said surrender leads to new ideas or exploration of something new. So I actually feel that when you are in that free-flowing state of surrender, when you are not trying to control, when you are open, letting yourself be flexible, you are, in a sense, being moved by the universe. You are open to divine inspiration, to divine timing, to those sacred steps forward, and even to fresh new ideas that may just seem to flow to you. For some reason, though, I'm also getting the Tower card here. I'm not sure if this is your energy or someone else's energy, because typically this card is one of a lot of upheaval and chaos. We also have the Nine of Swords. This is about someone being at a breaking point, being really anxious, really overwhelmed. And yet we have the Empress. And I heard the Empress is watching over the Tower moment and letting the truth come to light, being guided by her inner High Priestess, her inner intuition. With the High Priestess card here, I almost feel like you are watching the world go through tower moments, or you're watching other people around you go through these tower moments, or reaching some kind of breaking point that my guides are also calling a crossroads. Now, this is actually so fascinating because I was doing some journaling a few days ago during my morning meditation, and what came out is that on the solstice, which was just a few days ago, it's literally the longest day of the year, and yet spiritually, there's a meaning to that as well, where it is the most illuminating day, in a sense, from kind of a spiritual perspective. It's a day where we are able to see so many people, things, and situations with such a clarity that it can actually feel a little ungrounding sometimes, or a little overwhelming, to feel like there is just this sharp sense of clarity, like you are seeing things so utterly clearly. And at the same time, I was really picking up that, especially around this solstice, a lot of people are being pushed to tower moments. Just like on the solstice, it seemed that many dynamics, I heard especially within interpersonal relationship dynamics, that there was a lot being illuminated, coming to light. Everything was being presented more clearly. But what I was also picking up is you are also being presented more clearly. You are being perceived by others in a new light. And I feel that for a while, there were people who they almost tried to ignore your greatness, or there were parts of you that were so bright that they made them uncomfortable. And so these individuals tried to pretend that those bright, beautiful parts of you just didn't exist, or they tried to ignore them. And what I'm getting is there's something about this solstice energy where not only is it bringing to light dynamics within relationships that we may have been ignoring, but also parts of you that are so bright and brilliant and beautiful can no longer be hidden. And people are being forced to confront your radiance, your beauty. Maybe it's your successes, as we were talking about earlier. I feel like there are beautiful parts of you that it's not necessarily that you've been actively hiding them, but I feel you don't flaunt them because you don't want people to feel uncomfortable. And there are certain people that you've been aware would rather not see those parts of you because they do create this discomfort. But what I'm picking up on here is you are being seen so clearly by others. Parts of your spirit that are so beautiful, or parts of you or your life that are magnificent, that you've been kind of trying to keep on the down low or keep behind the scenes because you don't want other people to feel uncomfortable. Yeah, they're being forced to see how beautiful your energy is, to see how powerful you are, to see how much of an impression you are leaving on others and on the world. I'm also hearing something about being praised. I feel that some of these individuals are like overhearing positive things about you. People are praising you behind your back. It's almost like the opposite of negative gossip. There are people positively gossiping about you. People talking about, like, did you hear how they had this idea and it came to life, or they've been doing this, or this happened, or whatever it is. I feel like people are positively gossiping about you. That's the best way I can say it. And news is getting around to particular individuals who have been trying not to look directly at your light. And this can be very triggering for some of them. It almost brings them to this crossroads moment where they have to decide, are they going to see and acknowledge you clearly for all that you are and continue to move forward in a connection with you, acknowledging all of those aspects that they've been trying to ignore for their own comfort? Or are they going to choose for now to disconnect from you? And so there's like these triggered crossroad moments, but I'm hearing it has nothing to do with you, from the perspective that there's nothing you can do to make this decision for them. Your job here is to witness what they're going through, to see it, yes, to be aware of it possibly, but you are the empress. You are being guided by your inner high priestess. You are calmly sitting on your throne and letting the truth come to light and letting people react to it as they're going to react to it. And I get this sense that the word clarity just keeps coming out. Like, this has been such a theme through today's reading, that since the solstice, there's been this profound sense of clarity in relationships, maybe when it comes to certain dynamics in your life. Other people are having clarity about you. They're seeing you more clearly in a positive light. And I feel that your job through all of this is simply to let it be, to let that clarity continue to emerge, to let that truth come to light. Yeah, because I feel many people are choosing between two timelines or two pathways, and you've already made your choice. I feel like you're already firmly in this timeline of abundance and of peace and ease and happiness and harmonious connection, reciprocated connection, self-respect, authenticity, creativity. That is your timeline. But other people are making their choices. It's almost like they're no longer going to be able to have one foot in two worlds, to connect with this old version of you that was smaller and more diluted and with parts of you that were kind of hidden or kept behind the scenes. It's like part of them was connecting with that version of you while still having some kind of beneficial access to this beautiful, new, powerful version of you. But they sort of had one foot in each world according to their comfort. And now they're being pushed into discomfort because they have to choose. Are they going to see and connect with you for all that you are and embrace that and celebrate that? Not just embrace it. I'm sorry, but we're kind of beyond that here. We're getting back to this concept of celebration. There are people who have been refusing to celebrate you. You may have already cut these people out. You may know of them. You may have distanced from them. But there have been people who were just tolerating your joy or your success or your dreams or this path that you're on that's so beautiful. There have been people almost just like watching with a kind of sense of tolerance, like they're tolerating it, but they don't want to look directly at it. They don't want to acknowledge it. And you've had an awareness of this, but I feel you've been so soft in a beautiful way and so energetically attuned that you've been avoiding stepping on eggshells, we could say, avoiding conflict, focusing on yourself. And that's been beautiful. However, I feel we're reaching a point where that's just no longer going to be possible in the same way, quite simply because you are meant to be celebrated. You are meant to be in connections that reciprocate with you, that see you and own all that you are. Not that they own you, but they like embrace all that you are. And they not only see those aspects of you and tolerate them, but they celebrate them. And we are so clearly seeing the difference in those energies, seeing the difference between being tolerated and being celebrated. And you're being magnetized towards those connections that truly celebrate you for all that you are. And if you feel like you don't have any connections like that right now in your life, don't be afraid, because I'm getting a message that there are many connections that are going to enter your life, that want to enter your life, people who want to genuinely support you and genuinely celebrate you and reciprocate with you. And that as you self-respect, as you respect yourself by not allowing yourself to be subjected to relationships where you know you're just being tolerated, you open your heart to being moved into and magnetized into those relationships that truly, genuinely celebrate you. And you deserve that. I feel like you're the kind of person who always celebrates others when you see people going for their dreams or starting businesses or creating something or pursuing something. You celebrate that. You get excited about it. And you love seeing people step into their power. But you haven't been getting that same energy from a lot of people in your life. And again, for some of you, this may be old news. These may be people who have already kind of faded out. But this new era of your life, I'm seeing a row of like seats and they all have a reserved sign on them. It's like this front row to your life, which by the way is this beautiful, magnificent celebration. You have so many amazing things coming. I'm hearing like VIP experiences. That's how my guides are kind of jokingly referring to it. Maybe that's literal for some of you, but I feel like your life is becoming very rare and very exclusive. You're going to be doing a lot of things that are really beautiful and amazing. I'm hearing once in a lifetime, and having a front row seat to that, to being part of that experience of what your life is going to be, is going to require someone to genuinely celebrate you. Those front row seats are reserved for people who celebrate you and who embrace and love all parts of you, all aspects of you, without making you feel as though you need to hide or dilute parts of yourself to appease them or to make them more comfortable. Because those brilliant parts of you are actually fragments of mirrors, reflecting back to them pieces of themselves that they are afraid to look at. And that is why you may find that at times you've been alone on this journey, or you've connected with a very small circle, because it does take a rare kind of person to be so self-aware and introspective that they're capable of taking what they see that creates that trigger and actually turning that back into themselves and asking, what is this showing me, about some piece of myself that I may be neglecting or that I may be missing? The ones who are going to move forward with you on this journey in a real, deep, intimate kind of way. Of course, I'm not saying that you won't interact at all with these other individuals, but the ones who are really going to be part of that inner circle, having that kind of reserved front row seat in your life, are going to be the ones who are on their own journey of introspection, where they are willing to grow and evolve with you. Because the only ones who can really keep up with you fully on this path are the ones who, like you, are willing to be continuously participating in their own evolution. But there are many like you. Yes, it may be rare, but there are many who are on those kind of pathways. And for some of you, maybe you've been connecting with some of those individuals. For others of you, they may be entering your life very soon. But I just keep hearing the word self-respect, like respect yourself, respect your path, respect the kind of energy that you deserve to receive from others, and don't settle for less than that. That's coming through really strongly, because when you choose not to settle for less than self-respect in your connections and relationships in this context, especially, you keep your heart open and magnetic to those beautiful, fulfilling connections that support and celebrate you where you are, and in doing so, propel you into even more. So this feels like a beautiful place to close this reading. I have to say, this reading truly surprised me. I didn't expect it to take this direction, but I really hope it connected with you in a meaningful way. I will be now continuing over to the extended version of this reading. So in the last video, I tried something new, and I actually created a whole separate video. I called it like a bonus video instead of an extended video, which basically was just a channeling into an entirely different thread of energy. This time, I'm feeling like it's going to be a blend. I feel like we're going to pick up this thread of energy in that next reading, that bonus or extended reading. But also, I have to say that I'm feeling some very specific, very different kinds of messages coming through that are most likely going to be more related to specific people or individuals in your life connecting with you right now. So I might actually give that video a different title and thumbnail just based on those kind of different messages that I'm sensing coming through. We'll see how that goes. I'll let you know on that in the extended, but if you do want to join me for that, the link to listen is underneath this video in the pinned comment and description box. I do an extended and or bonus reading for Patreon and YouTube memberships every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So to join either YouTube memberships or Patreon and tune in for that today, you can click the link underneath this video. If you are new here, thank you for tuning in. And if this did connect for you, I would love to have you here on the channel. You can subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to be first to know whenever I post new messages, downloads, and readings that may be relevant for your life. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. And of course, I would love to hear from you in the comments if anything here did connect and you want to share that with our community. Otherwise, I am closing out the reading here. Have a beautiful remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next reading.